And I'm gonna have a leg and they can't stop.
The date is February 6, 2005. Star wide receiver Terrell Owens is playing on a broken leg and a torn ligament in right ankle. But how exactly did we get here? Let's rewind to September of 2004. Week 1 of the 2004 regular season. The Eagles would take the field versus Giants with 10 soon-to-be 2004 Pro Bowlers. The names in question: quarterback Donovan McNabb, running back Brian Westbrook, wide receiver Terrell Owens, offensive tackle Trey Thomas, linebacker Jeremiah Trotter, cornerback Lito Shepherd, free safety Brian Dawkins, strong safety Michael Lewis, kicker David Akers, and linebacker Ike Reese, and their head coach Andy Reid. The Eagles opened the season versus Giants. They obliterated them 31-17, and T.O. had 8 catches for 68 yards with 3 touchdowns. That game would set the stage for how the rest of the season would go, as T.O. totaled up 1,176 yards and 75 receptions through 13 games, and his team had a record of 12-1 with Dallas coming to town for a Week 15 showdown. Everything was going right until it wasn't.
He fires, and it is complete to Owens at the 50. Owens pulled down at the Cowboys' 47.
He's got a problem.
It looks like his leg gets caught up underneath him, and that's all Philadelphia needs, right?
Well, when I talked to the doctors, I figured he was done, but
30 seconds into the third quarter versus Dallas, T.O. was tackled by his horse collar, and just like that, his season was over. Or at least we thought. But fun fact, it was this very play that led to the horse collar tackle being banned in the 2005 offseason. It is often referred to in the press as the Roy Williams rule, who obviously was the guy that made the vile tackle on Terrell Owens. The Eagles will go on to edge out the Cowboys 12-7 to advance to 13-1, but at what cost? Following the Dallas game, the Eagles will go on to lose their last 2 games of the season while only putting up 10 or less points in each of those games. The loss of T.O. was felt immediately, but on the bright side, they finished with the conference best 13-3 record, which gifted them a much-needed first-round bye. By the way, T.O.'s official injury diagnosis was a broken fibula and torn ligament in his right ankle. When the injury happened and T.O. was scheduled for surgery, he said, "There's no reason for the city of Philadelphia to get down. Obviously, my presence will be missed, but we have the guys to get it done." Well, 2 weeks later, heading into the playoffs, that statement looked laughable. The Eagles would go on to win their divisional game, which took place 4 weeks after the disaster in Dallas, pretty easily. The defense held Minnesota to 14 points, and the offense got back on track with 27 points, their most since Week 13 when they put up 47 on the Packers. Next up, the NFC Championship game. Win and you're in the Super Bowl. The opponent, the Atlanta Falcons, the NFC's second seed sitting at 11-5. They were coming off a statement 47-17 win in the divisional over the Rams, but also, just like the Eagles, lost their last 2 regular season games after a dominant start. But that's the past. This is now, win or go home. And the Eagles defense, led by Brian Dawkins, showed up again. They held the Falcons, who were coming off a 47-point performance, to 10 points, and the offense put up 27 for the second week in a row. It was now time to face the AFC champion New England Patriots, who finished the regular season with a league-leading 14-2 record, coming off a 41-point performance versus Steelers in the AFC title game. So the question was, can the Eagles defense keep them in it against the Patriots' 27.3 points per game offense? Or at least, that was the story. Remember that Terrell Owens guy I was talking about earlier? Well, yeah, he was determined to play in this game, taking place only 7 weeks after he shattered his leg into pieces on national television. But it wasn't going to be easy for him to even suit up for the big game, let alone play. Multiple medical experts told Owens if he were to play and get hit in the leg the wrong way, it could end his career. Also, his doctor didn't even clear him to play in the game. With all these professionals telling me the risk of playing, I definitely wouldn't have played. But then again, I'm not T.O. So settle in, because this will be a lot of information to take in. T.O. was rehabbing the very next day after his surgery. Yes, the very next day. He was expecting to go home, chill, and recover after surgery, but no, he was called in to go through intensive rehab the very next day. He would go on to rehab non-stop twice a day for the next 6 weeks. He had to elevate his leg throughout the night, and he said every day when he woke up and put his foot down, it was the most excruciating pain he did not look forward to for the first week or so. It was one of the most painful things he experienced in his entire life. He didn't even look forward to waking up because he had to put his leg down and feel the blood rush to his ankle. Fast forward until Super Bowl week. The first time he practiced with the Eagles since his injury was on the Wednesday. Yes, the Wednesday leading into the Super Bowl. The game was in Jacksonville, Florida, and it was unseasonably cold and rainy. So after seeming fine going through the drills with his trainers for the last few weeks, right when he got back with the team, it was cold and rainy. His first hurdle, it led to his leg aching like no other. He started limping and was trying to play the pain off, but it was no use. Everyone noticed. The trainer went up to head coach Andy Reid, and Andy told him he doesn't think T.O. will be ready. Up until that point, his leg was fine, but a week or two before he left to go to Jacksonville, his trainer introduced him to a pastor, and they prayed before he left to go to Jacksonville. And in the middle of the prayer, the pastor stopped and told him a spirit came over him, and he told him something was going to create some doubt over the course of the week down in Jacksonville. Something is going to happen that will create doubt. You will play in that game. Don't get discouraged, and told him to say rebuke the devil when it happens. He had no idea what was coming, but here we are on his very first day practicing with the team. His legs started aching profusely, and the doubtful situation was here. So he practiced a little bit the next 2 days, and it was time for the injury report. Head coach Andy Reid told everyone Terrell Owens was not going to play, but the trainers letting them know he will play, going against Andy Reid's word. Fast forward to Super Bowl Sunday, and T.O. was preparing for his pregame jog. The trainers taped his ankle up, something he wasn't used to, but it was for extra protection. He said he went out to the field and his ankle was hurting so bad he went right back to the training room, and he said he can't wear it. They took the tape off, and T.O. went out to a sea of cameras, and in his words, the rest is history. And it was.
Doctor, he didn't medically clear me to play, so I had to sign a waiver to release the Eagles of any liability.
Welcome to Jacksonville, Florida, on a glorious day just made for football. Super Bowl 39, about to begin.
That's why Philadelphia, to this day, loves T.O. because this dude was hurt, and nobody thought he was going to play.
Belichick will tell you this is a pass-first team. Owens, open space. Harrison chasing and out of bounds inside the 20. And so much for him being a decoy. Second down and 8. McNabb fires the pass to Terrell Owens into the open field. Look out. Terrell Owens getting it into Patriot territory. Blitz coming from New England. The pass is caught. An unbelievable catch by Terrell Owens. Unbelievable.
Terrell Owens, as we were talking about, has really shown up big. I mean, you're talking about a guy basically playing on one leg, 5 weeks removed from having screws put in his ankle.
Imagine what he'd be doing if he were healthy.
Nobody knew he was actually going to play. He had to sign a waiver to clear the Eagles from any legal trouble in case something happened to him. But in the end, he finished with 9 catches for 122 yards. All the talk of him being a decoy was shut down as McNabb's first pass completion went to T.O. T.O. went on to play 62 of the Eagles' 72 offensive snaps. Everyone thought he was crazy for playing, but in a valiant effort, he proved everyone wrong. Unfortunately for T.O., his Eagles lost the game due to some very questionable decisions from quarterback Donovan McNabb mid-game. It's also reported that McNabb threw up in the huddle on the final drive, and T.O. said he knows McNabb was partying the day before the game. So there's that. Secret Base did a whole video on the beef if you want to know what happened in that situation. But that's been the video. Longer than my usual vids, but a lot more to cover at the same time. If you like this vid, then drop a like, subscribe, and comment as many things you can talk about as the media like Skip Bayless calling him selfish for playing. Also let me know what you have played if you were T.O. But for now, I'm out. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.